Coming up, I'm going to be talking about the revival of Wizards of Waverly Place. Also talking about the revival of Lizzie McGuire. But before we go any further, make sure you do hit that subscribe button to keep up with the latest Disney Plus news. Hi, it's Roger here from What's On DisneyPlus.com. A quick Disney Plus news roundup. Let's start off with some good news, because Disney has revealed it's working on a revival of Wizards of Waverly Place. And this was a really popular Disney Channel show, and it's going to be returning. They're going to be doing a pilot first off, see if it works out pretty well before they move on to making it a full series. The original series was about the Russo family who owned a restaurant and lived in New York. However, the father is a wizard while the children are in training, and the children who master the power shall be given the family wand. The series launched the career of Selena Gomez, who is going to return as an executive producer on the show and will also be making a guest appearance in the pilot. Also returning is David Henry, who will be reprising his role of Justin Russo as a series regular. The series will pick up after the mysterious incident at WizTech, where an adult, Justin, has left his wizard powers behind, opting for a normal human life with his wife and 2 sons. But he gets a surprise when a powerful young wizard in need of training shows up at his door, and Justin must embrace his past to ensure the future of the wizard world. Jed Endeloff and also Scott Thomas will be executive producers on the show, and they were previously behind the Raven's Home series, which was a kind of a sequel to That's So Raven. Janice Leanne Brown, who starred in Disney's Just Roll With It, will be playing the lead role of the powerful young wizard called Billy, who Justin takes under his wing. Now, it is important to note that this is a sequel series. This is not a grown-up show. This is a new show aimed at kids of today and of tomorrow. And that's the key thing. Selena Gomez obviously is returning to kind of make a cameo and stuff. She might do other bits and pieces in there as well. But yeah, so don't expect this to be a little bit like the Lizzie McGuire show, which we'll talk about in a bit. But yeah, so this one I think is going to be a big hit. Wizards of Waverly Place was massive. And I think it's just that thing of like for the Disney Channel, just trying to find the right thing to connect with audiences of today. Whether or not this one works, who knows? We're going to have to wait and see. Obviously, if the pilot does get picked up for a full series, we should then see it on the Disney Channel and on Disney Plus around the world. But let us know, excited about the return of Wizards of Waverly Place? Love to hear your thoughts on that in the comments below. Let's now talk about some bad news about a revival. So let's talk about Lizzie McGuire. So this show was set to come back in 2020. They filmed 2 episodes of it before they eventually cancelled the entire project because of problems with the creatives and Disney. So this was initially announced back at the D23 Expo in 2019. Lots of people were excited about this one, and it was gonna be all about a grown-up Lizzie McGuire living in New York, and that is where the problem seems to be, because Disney wanted a family-friendly Disney Channel show, and Lizzie McGuire and the creatives wanted to kind of create something much more modern and was about being a woman of, a 30-year-old woman, and this new series was going to be about a 30-year-old woman, and therefore with the problems that would entail. And there seems to be a massive clash between the two over what was going to happen. Hilary Duff, who plays Lizzie McGuire, took to social media a number of times talking about wanting to make it mature, and talked about at the time like how Love Victor got booted over to Hulu, and kind of wanted the same thing for this show. Jonathan Hurwitz took to TikTok to talk about the revival and gave a little bit of details on what the show was going to entail. So in the first episode, it was set in New York, and Lizzie McGuire's boyfriend was going to be cheating on her, so therefore that meant that she had to leave New York and return home. And when she got home, she found the animated version of Lizzie still living there. Then in the second episode, she would then meet up with Gordy and find out that he's got a kid on the way and he's happily engaged, but also that she would get a message from her childhood crush. Now this is where things got a little bit more interesting, because he revealed that in the third episode, which they'd done the script for, it was going to start off with her waking up in his bed, and then basically the animated version of Lizzie was going to pop up and kind of basically go, oh, you've done something off of your to-do list, and then she kind of winks and goes, yeah, twice. And that might be it. There was apparently some issues with swearing and other bits and pieces in this show. There was going to be more stories and stuff involved with this, and it just feels to me like Disney and the creators were just on completely different paths of what they were trying to create. And I actually, in some ways, I kind of see where Disney was coming from. They were creating a Disney Channel revival. This was a Disney Channel show, and this stuff that was coming in, it just did not, to me, it just does not suit what the show was. Now, I understand it from, if you're a fan of the show at the time and now you're an adult and you're looking at it going, well, yeah, she's 30 plus years old, this is kind of normal kind of thing. But I could just imagine, could you imagine having, a kid that's just gone through the Lizzie McGuire shows and suddenly then goes on to the new one and suddenly that's the storyline. That is very different tone, very different show completely. In some ways, you know, it feels like Disney wanted to make like just a new season of Lizzie McGuire from like when it came out originally, and the creators kind of wanted to create How I Met Your Father, which kind of, I think in some ways is what that character kind of turned into. Yeah, so it definitely sounds like, you know, more of this stuff comes in, and, you know, there's been talk about, you know, are they going to get it back together? I don't think they can do. I think they're too far apart. If this was something brand new and this was a new series with Hilary Duff, you know, being that character, it could work. But the minute it's connected with Lizzie McGuire, it is a Disney Channel show, and by the sounds of it, the storylines were just not there. Now, I do put a lot of this down on the executives for not really having this lined up properly, you know, not having the scripts worked out, some of the plot lines and stuff. This should have all been sorted out way before they started filming. I think it was just a rush to get this stuff made, and it's cost them money. And I think this has been some of the problems with Disney as a whole, and especially if you think back to 2019, 2020 Disney Plus. This was the era of family friendly when nothing really was on there. Most of the stuff that's on there now just wouldn't exist. You know, we didn't have the Star Hub or the Hulu on Disney Plus Hub. None of that was there. Daredevil and stuff weren't on there. This was very much just an extension of the Disney Channel with the Disney movies. Very different era. They were definitely making different content then. Now, whether or not if this was made now, they might go a little bit further, but I still always feel like Lizzie McGuire is a Disney Channel branded show. These kind of storylines just don't really fit in. Kind of, I think of like, you know, what they're doing with Wizards of Waverly Place and Raven's Home. You know, those are extensions and continuations of those characters, but it's still set within the confines of a Disney Channel show. And it sounds to me like this Lizzie McGuire show was just way off that, and the creators and the writers and stuff were just putting stuff together that they thought was funny and made sense from being a 30-plus-year-old, but from a 10-year-old's point of view, this was just not storylines that I think Disney could go along with. But I'd love to hear your thoughts on this in the comments below. And we've also got a little bit of an update on Marvel's Daredevil, because Vincent D'Onofrio has confirmed that they're going to be going back to filming in New York over the next few days. So that's going to be set off. Obviously, everything got a bit messed up with the strikes last year. Then they had a creative overhaul, bringing in a new showrunner, directors, and they've got to film new episodes. They're going to try and use as much of it as they can. But he also confirmed that there's going to be maybe less episodes. Originally, they announced it was going to be 18. That could be severely cut back. Wouldn't surprise me if that's the case. Maybe they go for 2 seasons. Maybe just try and wrap up what they've got together and sort of do extra scenes and stuff. But yes, so Daredevil Born Again might not be this 18-episode series. Pretty much everything that they said back at that day, the dateline of when it was coming out, how many episodes it was going to be, what it was going to be all about. It feels like the entire project has completely changed. That might be for the good, but it definitely feels a bit of a car crash of just all over the place. Again, this is the problem sometimes with Disney, where it feels like they're running ahead before they've really got all their ducks in a row and kind of getting things sorted in advance. Yeah, and it does sound a little bit messy, so hopefully things work out. Who knows how long they're going to be filming the upcoming Daredevil series. If it's just a few episodes and some reshoots and stuff, it might not take as long. But yeah, hopefully we get an update on that pretty soon. But let us know, excited about the return of Daredevil? Would love to hear your thoughts on that in the comments below. In our question of the day, which comes from Trekpedia, who asks, can we get an update on X-Men 97, please? Been waiting a long time for this. Now, I bring this one up because we've actually had a lot of questions about this show recently. So we know it's coming in 2024. It is obviously a revival to the classic 90s series. I love that one. Loved it when it came out. I used to set my VCR to record every time I had a Saturday, because I used to work Saturday mornings. Yeah, used to love it. Looking forward to it. Now, we don't have any update when it's coming. Probably going to be spring, so hopefully we might find out about it pretty soon. But again, that could be March time. That would maybe make sense, you know, if they want to stretch out the Marvel content a little bit, you know. But yeah, so yeah, nothing official yet. To be honest, the series was supposed to come out last year, and you can kind of tell because all the merchandise is kind of out, all the action figures, the Lego sets, the bits and pieces. And it's kind of the opposite way around normally for stuff, where it comes out afterwards. But yeah, they were kind of prepped up, ready to go. But yeah, so unfortunately nothing quite yet, but hopefully we find out about this pretty soon. Obviously this week Marvel has been primarily concerned with promoting the Marvels on digital, which you can obviously buy now, and I suspect we're just a few weeks away from that arriving on Disney Plus, and I think that's probably going to be the major Marvel release for February, fingers crossed. And obviously this month is Echo, so that might be where I would imagine. I think March might be a good guess, just off the top of my head. But let us know what you think of this in the comments below. Remember to go check us out over at whatsondisneyplus.com. Like, follow, and subscribe, and I shall see you guys soon. Laters.